It's John and Rachel, and it's Jagoff late night. And we haven't been here at the studio, 5000 McKnight Road, for quite a while.
2 weeks. I feel really rusty.
Yeah, it feels like it's been years. But anyways, you should remind yourself that you can come here any Friday, pretty much, and just watch us on the internet to tell you which Fridays come, who the guests are, and it's usually around 5:30 to 6:30. We have drinks, we have a little snacks, and we have a good time hanging out.
That was really well done. If
Thanks,
you missed
Rach.
it, go check out our fun game show that we had with PTL. It was a great time. But we're back here, like you said, and we're super stoked to be here because we have some great guests.
Right.
If you're new to this and you're just realizing that we're doing this, thank you so much to Rohrich Automotive as well as Q929 Studios, because we get to do this every Friday, like you said, 5:30 to 6:30.
And one of the things we said we would do when we first started is that we would wear T-shirts that represented things. First of all, I ran out of T-shirts that weren't had holes in them, and second of all, I didn't really have enough sport coats to cover them up. So, but anyways, today Astoria, that's where my son lives. He just did a Netflix audition, and we're wishing him well, Colin.
You're
right?
having a moment. Mine is plain because
Right?
my kids aren't as great as John's kids, I guess.
But,
we do nothing. We're vanilla.
In the meantime, we do have really good guests. But before we get to that, we always talk about what was on the blog.
Yeah.
In this week's blog, you wrote about John Chokowski, fellow podcaster, fellow blogger here in Pittsburgh. Odd Pittsburgh is the name of his brand. And he's not doing so well. He needs a little help with health care. And so we're throwing some Venmo money his way.
Yeah, and
we
basically
would love for you
we
to
want
donate.
the ultimate Yinzer card. So we want you to say, hey, cheer up, YaJagoff, something like that with your signature, because we want him to see how much Pittsburgh loves him and how we all want him to get better.
And how we know you want to sign the card, how do you get your name on the card? You Venmo.
Yeah.
$2, $5, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
And some people have given 50. It's been great.
It's been
so
great.
far.
So keep it going. Yeah, we obviously appreciate that. Next up, we had tons of snow. Wouldn't know it by today because I'm roasting.
Right. And of course, snow brings Jagoffs. And we found another car driving around with about 2 inches of open windshield on the back window. Because who uses the back window of their car? Nobody. Everybody should. You're supposed to clean the car. I don't care if it's a law or not. Bottom line is it's common courtesy to clean it off.
There you go. Is it a, it
The
is
Jagoff.
a law.
It is law.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And then finally, listen, I'm not trying to out you, but I think you've talked about this for the 9 years that I've been around you because it drives you crazy.
Right. It's the tabs on the top of the peanut butter.
Yeah.
You know, they have that seal,
Yeah.
and they don't make the tabs big enough so that people like me with no fingernails can pull them off. So, like, really, all you need is just literally... Right. So, anyways, please, Jif, somebody fix the tabs on the peanut butter.
Don't. Yeah, we don't.
Right.
We don't. We're not
That's right.
commercial.
That's right.
And I saw a ton of people were like in. Like you
They're
were like, what are all
my
these
mayonnaise
comments?
jar, my everything. Everybody was talking about the same
Anything
thing.
that's like vacuum sealed.
Yeah.
We totally get it. Anyway, that's it for our blogs. We do a blog post every day. Check it out on YaJagoff.com or all of our social media. But listen, we cannot tell you enough. You need to come to 5000 McKnight Road. This is where the fun is, because tonight we have some phenomenal guests. You were on it with Don Morrison.
This is so crazy. Like you probably, I don't know who he is. Neither did I until I read the article about how he's a Pittsburgh company up. What do they call it? Up. It's using old pieces of leather to create things.
Come on,
so
guys.
it's not like he's using fake leather. He's using real leather, and he's reusing it. Yeah.
It's sustainability.
It
We're
is
saying
something with
that,
upcycling.
Upcycling.
Says on the
I
notes.
could not think of the darn word. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, and we're really stoked because we have the folk. They're awesome. Mike and Emily from Awesome Pittsburgh. We're really excited to find out how that all works because I've read about it and I'm like, no, it's too good to be true. So if you're intrigued, you should be, because we want to know what is Awesome Pittsburgh.
And so typical Rachel, our musician, we were somewhere. She said, hey, we have a podcast. She said, I'm a musician. And next thing you know, she's on the podcast. So Inez is here.
I knew who Inez was. And I was super stoked because we've wanted to meet her. So here we are.
That's right.
And our 412 dudes are in the studio.
If you're listening, make sure you listen every Friday. If you're following, make sure you subscribe. This is John and Rachel, YaJagoff Late Night.
If my younger self could see me doing these things now, I wouldn't believe it. To be a steam fitter, you need to be a problem solver. You can do instrumentation, hydronics, chillers, rigging, HVAC. I have this wonderful opportunity to grow my career.
It's not what you are that makes you a steam fitter. It's who you are. Over 100 years, and we're just getting started.
I've been thinking that Rohrich Automotive needs a new jingle.
Rohrich Automotive got the best cars around Pittsburgh.
Driving a Rohrich, I bought it at Rohrich. Picked up my new car at Rohrich Automotive. I got friends at Rohrich Automotive where the staff is nice and the dealership's loaded with brand new cars. And you can drive real far.
Rach, I have to vent. Here's my dryer vent. This one time, I had found a lead press-on nail in my dryer stuff, and it was not mine.
Vom in the throat. Ugh. One time, my kids left Kleenexes from one of their worst whooping coughs in their pocket.
Guys, you guys are such jagoffs. That's not the type of dryer venting we're talking about. We professionally clean your dryer vent to increase your dry time and save you guys some money.
For
so
4 hours.
Wet, like 10 pounds
you
wet.
Jagoffs, you need to get your dryer vents cleaned.
Yes, please.
John and Rachel, YaJagoff late night. And like we said, we're so excited to be back in these seats. My butt hasn't been sitting on here, so I'm not used to it. It's great to be back in our studio, especially great because our first guest, Don Morrison, John sort of stalked you a little bit, I have to admit. He read an article about you, and then he was like, oh, we will get him on. So I think we have an entry through the website, a couple of emails, maybe an old Gmail account.
Maybe a car sat outside your office.
Lies. It's all lies.
He really did know. He was
Tracy,
so
what was the article from? Where was
the Business Times?
Or
Pittsburgh Magazine. Anyway,
no,
one
it
of
was
them.
Green, the Green Voice.
Oh, the Green Voice.
It was the Green Voice. So, Don, welcome to YaJagoff Late Night.
Thank you.
Wow.
So, listen, like, Pittsburghers, we're not known for all this stuff. We're becoming known for all the sustainable stuff. And upcycling is the word we were looking for in our opening here. You're doing that with leather. So, first of all, welcome to YaJagoff Late Night. Are you an original Pittsburgher?
I'm not. I'm a triple boomeranger. I came to Pittsburgh for the first time in the late 70s for a retail startup.
Okay.
That turned out pretty well. And
would we know the name of it?
Yes, you would.
Trivia.
It was American Eagle Outfitters.
I knew you were going to say. I was like, can we guess? Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So I grew American Eagle from 1 to 200 stores and left when they wouldn't sell it to me. And then 2 years later, the chairman asked me to come back and turn them around. So I did. That was my second time back. Third time back, we came back to help raise our special needs granddaughter.
Wow.
What a special moment.
Wow. So is this why you have pretty good clothing on? It's all American Eagle clothing at this point. I hope
you say no. Bust them on.
None of it is.
None of it.
It's very clear.
Totally busted. Totally busted. I do have some American Eagle shirts. I've got an old denim shirt that was one of our originals. And
well, before John throws out the McKees Rocks card, because everybody and their mother lived in McKees Rocks at some point, I worked at American Eagle for a while.
Great. Well, the Silverman family started American Eagle.
Yes.
Jerry Silverman was the original visionary, and he hired me and told me about this crazy idea. And Silverman's actually started McKees Rocks.
Yeah, they were. Silverman's was at McKees
I was trying
Rocks.
to not go the McKees Rocks route.
When I was a kid, no kidding, my grandparents would walk me down through the rocks, and I'd say, someday I'm going to go to Silverman's and get myself a suit. Yes, that's so crazy.
So straight from American Eagle, obviously you are business-oriented, an entrepreneur, and so you are the CEO of Sustainable Composites. Is that right?
That's
correct.
correct.
For people who don't know and who didn't read the article in the Green Voice, what exactly is that?
Well, let me backtrack a little bit. I for the last 10 years or so, I was chairman of deal flow for Blue Tree Allied Angels, which is a local angel investment group. And as chairman of deal flow, one of the things that I used to do was to meet with startups and listen to their pitch decks and give them coaching and see if they're ready for prime time.
Like a Shark Tank?
The pitches are kind of like Shark Tank, but I said I had the best job in Pittsburgh because I met with all these crazy entrepreneurs with these amazing ideas. And in that role, I came across these two guys who had come up with this technology to recycle leather into a new material. And having my initial early stages of my career in the outdoor industry with American Eagle, I was also president of Woolrich's retail group. The Redford family recruited me to run the Sundance Catalog Company. So I had a lot of experience in the outdoor industry and companies that were really concerned about sustainability. So when I met the Sustainable Composites co-founders, my head exploded, and it was like, I think I know a couple hundred people that might be interested in this technology. So I started working with them about 5 or 6 years ago on business development. And then about a year and a half ago, they asked me to step in as CEO.
Wow.
awesome.
I mean, the feeling of
amazing for
inadequacy
Pittsburgh.
is very high right now on my end. I feel completely inadequate. We run a podcast.
You're the CEO of YaJagoff. There you go.
So
we're sustainable.
Now, tell us a little bit about like what started this, and I mean, because there's a lot of movement towards not using real leather for things, right?
It's an interesting question. The guys that run it, most of the entrepreneurs I meet with are, wicked smart. They're young, good looking. These guys are old codgers that, spent their life in the gasket industry making automotive gaskets.
Okay.
And they sold their gasket business, and they asked the acquiring company, hey, we're playing around with this leather idea. Do you want to buy that too? And they said, nah, we don't see any future there. So they took the money from the sale of their gasket company, and they put it in. They started Sustainable Composites, and they created Inspire Leather. And
here, actually,
I was going to say,
I'll hold
that
up while you talk.
Yeah, the magic of leather does not come off of cows. It comes at the finisher where it's finished and embossed, and our material can be refinished and repurposed in pretty much any new application as new leather. But anyway, these guys were the technology was amazing, but they're two engineers, and bless engineers because they make the world go round.
Yes.
But they're not always the best people to run companies, and so I had a lot of contacts in the outdoor industry and the finance community. So I've been working on raising money for the company and raising sales.
Wow.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Don, is separate from this conversation, I guess, is Pittsburgh a good place to do this? Are there good angel investors? Like we've had other people on, and they say, well, Pittsburgh needs a little bit more of that angel investor kind of environment, I guess.
Pittsburgh, I've been here on and off since the late 70s.
Sure.
And it's amazing the transformation. Early on it was eds and meds.
Okay.
But the last decade or so, the ecosystem, the startup ecosystem has really exploded. We have, robotics, we have computer science, we have AI. There's just all these amazing autonomous vehicles. We really, is centered in this area. So there's a lot of really amazing innovation coming out of the region. We've got the smartest kids in the world studying at Pitt, CMU, Duquesne.
Yeah.
So there's just a tremendous amount of, plus a couple $2 billion of funded research never hurts either. So there's this kind of a flywheel effect. So there's a lot of talent and a lot of great innovation. And we've got a great startup ecosystem and a lot of great supportive companies. What we do need here is we have to have more successful exits similar to Silicon Valley, because the amount of capital for a lot of new companies is not as great. There is some around, but it's not as plentiful as it might be out in Silicon Valley.
Are we still a little bit behind? Pittsburgh tends to be a little behind the other major cities.
It's behind in funding, but not in
technology.
Innovation.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I mean, we've got the ideas.
Yeah.
All right. So we're smart but poor. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, story of my life.
So now, what does somebody do with the material that's made with from your guys?
Anything you can do with new leather.
So you could use car seats, whatever clothing.
There's an alternative material on the market right now that's made with unfinished leather, and unfortunately, to make it durable, there's a lot of plastics that are added to it. So it's not very sustainable. There's a lot of plant-based alternatives to leather. A lot of, they call it vegan leathers, cactus and eucalyptus and so on and so on.
Okay.
And they kind of feel like leather, they kind of look like leather, but they're not very durable unless you add a lot of plastics, and that defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah.
So our material is the first technology that's figured out how to recycle finished leather in a material that can be refinished and repurposed in pretty much anything as new leather. And that's very, very unique.
And is that what the Inspire Cutting Room program is? What is that?
Well, we started off with our original minimum viable product, as we say in the startup community, was made out of a material from Wilson football scrap, which dirty little secret of the football industry is they're no longer made out of pigskin. They're made out of cow with a pigskin embossing.
Okay.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Now everybody knows.
Yeah.
And that was our original product. And in my role as in business development, before I stepped in as CEO, I was talking to a lot of companies, and they said, Don, we're kind of interested in this football leather, but can you help us with the cutting room scrap that we have in our facility? And I said, yes, but you've got to agree to buy it back. So that solves the sales problem, and it gives companies the true circularity that a lot of companies are looking for.
Oh, wow.
What a great circle. Yeah, that's amazing.
It's all about circularity when it comes to sustainability.
Wow.
So we have right now a sales pipeline of about 40 marquee companies. Think of any company that uses leather products or sells leather products. We're probably having conversations with them, and we've probably processed some of their cutting room scrap for them.
What kind of cost reduction is involved with using this product versus original leather?
The material to material is fairly comparable right now.
Okay.
We think the price will become a lot more competitive as we scale.
Okay.
But the main thing is, half of everything made with leather right now gets thrown away. And that's either landfilled, which creates methane, which all my smart science friends tell me that's 80 times more harmful than CO2. The other part of it gets incinerated, which is more expensive, but that creates CO2. So both are harmful for the environment.
Wow. I just don't feel smart right now. I mean, I thought I was smart before, but now
inadequate John.
Inadequate CEO. Where can everybody find out more information about you? Is there a website? How can they know more about
Sustainable Composites LLC.com.
Yeah.
But our brand name is Inspire Leather.
Right.
And
I'll hold that one up too.
My goal, I came out of the outdoor industry, and I'm a big believer in branding. And, of course, American Eagle, as I tell all my entrepreneurial mentees, American Eagle was an overnight success. It only took me 10 years.
There you go.
That's how long it took to build a brand. My goal with Inspire is to become the Gore-Tex of the recycled leather.
Okay.
Just Gore-Tex never made a waterproof breathable parka or hat or glove, but they made the component inside that made everything much like the Intel chip in your computer.
Yeah. Wow.
I want to be the Gore-Tex of the recycled leather business.
Let's get Don drunk and see what happens to him, right?
He's drinking an icy light.
I mean, let's get him drunk.
Triple boomerang.
It's a Don.
He has a granddaughter he has to go take care of.
Yes.
Jeez,
yes.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Don, we can't tell you how much we appreciate you taking the time to come in and do this podcast.
Oh, this has been fun.
We love telling the stories of Pittsburgh. In the meantime,
especially when Pittsburghers, let me just say this, do great things.
Yeah.
And we're so proud because we talk a lot about how Pittsburgh became what it is now, right? It was a smog-filled city. People didn't really want to visit, and now, we're one of the most livable cities in the country.
It's amazing to see the transformation. I mean, I came here, my parents actually moved here coincidentally before I did. And they wanted me to love Pittsburgh so much. My dad took me to Willard Rockwell's office at the top of the steel building.
Yeah.
He had his own collection of moon rocks on loan from NASA there. I mean, so I was impressed.
Yeah,
but,
I guess so.
I've seen Pittsburgh transition from the
that
old steel town to what it is today.
Wow.
We can't let you go without a Yinzer question of the day. So we did all this serious talk, and now we bring you down. Okay, you're not going to feel smart.
That's easy to do.
This is our level now.
Now
easy
you're coming to our level. All right, I'm going to go with this one. What is your favorite guilty pleasure dessert? Is it the ice cream cake from Scoop sitting on our counter that's calling my name?
Ooh.
I know.
Well, I have to go with Klondikes, I think.
We actually have them here.
What would you do
for
a Klondike bar? Yeah, you could have one.
You can have
one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Done. I mean, it was that simple.
What's yours? Hurry up.
Tiramisu,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
What's
go.
yours?
Mine's anything chocolate.
Yeah, really.
Chocolate.
Don Morrison, thank you so much. Go ahead.
No? Okay.
No, you really wanted them. Go ahead.
We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. And we have so much more next. And we're going to talk about
Awesome Pittsburgh.
Which it is.
Welcome to Can I take your orders?
You need a tap it?
No, we don't use this. We know how to yell the sandwich to cook. Here we go.
Let's dig in.
It's John and Rachel. We love to dig into iconic Pittsburgh places like Permanis. So we brought our friends from People's Gas.
Please call at least 3 business days before you dig.
It doesn't matter if it's a big project or something small like a mailbox. Always call before you dig. I called. We can dig in.
So please call 811 3 business days before excavating so you don't have to call 911.
PittsburghUsedCars.com. with hundreds of used cars across 8 dealerships throughout the city. We provide the greater Pittsburgh area with a premium used car buying experience. Looking for unbeatable pricing on some of the best used cars in Pittsburgh? Visit Pittsburgh Used Cars Clearance Zone today. We're providing out-the-door pricing on all of our clearance zone inventory. PittsburghUsedCars.com.
I've been thinking that Rohrich Automotive needs a new jingle.
Rohrich Automotive got the best cars around Pittsburgh.
Driving a Rohrich, I bought it at Rohrich. Picked up my new car at Rohrich Automotive. I got friends at Rohrich Automotive where the staff is nice and the dealership's loaded with brand new cars. And you can drive real far.
People used to celebrate hard work, the spirit of the underdog. You don't hear too much about those things anymore. The world needs more problem solvers. People who know results matter. Folks with brains and elbow grease. Our work runs through just about every office building in the city like a network of veins. It's not what you are that makes you a steam fitter. It's who you are.
We appreciate all of our sponsors like the Steam Fitters Local 449. They'll be taking applications pretty soon. And they're doing speaking of sustainable, they're doing this whole refrigeration thing coming up in March, but you want to be a part of. But listen, we forgot to ask Don. We were so intrigued by his CEO status. He didn't even have a clipboard or anything, but he brought something for our junk drawer. And it was this. It's the Inspire.
Is it a coaster, though?
It is a coaster.
Let me feel it. Let me feel it. Oh, I love wow.
So Don gave us something first. He did not let us go on the junk drawer.
Thank God, because I was going to talk about him.
Right.
I was
You
going
were
to say, what the heck?
And say, we don't want you to 4-time
boomerang. Yeah. Something else we want to talk about is obviously Awesome Pittsburgh. We're so excited to have Emily and Mike. Mike, pronounce your last name for us.
Capsambellis.
I knew I was going to say it wrong. So
most people don't even try.
I'm impressed. Well, right. I wanted to be one of those people as well. But we were so excited to hear that you were both joining us. And I literally am one of those Pittsburghers who have looked at the website a million times and say, is this too good to be true? So for people who don't know, what is Awesome Pittsburgh? Emily, are you starting?
I guess so.
You got the go-ahead.
Awesome Pittsburgh is essentially a giving circle, a group of friends that every month puts $100 into a pot and then gives $1,000 away to somebody with an awesome idea that will make Pittsburgh more awesome than it already is.
And that's literally the concept. That's what I love. Like, I literally read it. I was like, I think they're saying they pass something around and basically put money in it. And it's like the classic, like, how can I save for, right? It's sort of like a piggy bank or this is my fun to do whatever, but you're doing it so that you can help other people.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think for us, it's little bits of money that we can sprinkle all over the city.
Yeah.
Fun, great ideas. It's a little bit of $1,000 isn't a lot, right? There's foundations that are giving away big grants, $25,000, $100,000 grants. If somebody is just trying something for the first time, if it's a cool idea but they can't go for a $50,000 grant, we want them to come to us, and it's like fun money that they can try something really cool with.
So it's almost like a micro grant, right? If they can make this $1,000, and is it business oriented? Is it nonprofit, or do you have rules? I guess, or no? Like guidelines on how.
Are you like us? There's no rules. You just made it up. You're still making it up.
We always joke that there are no rules.
There are no rules.
That's the one rule. That there's no rule.
That's the one rule. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have funded for-profit groups. Now, oftentimes we'll say, do they really need the money compared to some of the other applicants?
Sure.
We've funded nonprofits. We've funded students, kids with great ideas, teachers, artists.
Yeah.
Anybody that can come with a really awesome idea.
So take us back for how the process works. So someone applies, and then how is it determined? So start us with the application process, and then how it comes to be. Fair?
Okay. Sure. Well, the application's
again,
online.
Okay.
We try to keep it simple. I think there's 6 questions or so. In case anyone's thinking about applying, just some tips. Make the application awesome. We want to hear your enthusiasm for your idea. Sometimes people apply to us who have applied to other more formal grant makers, and they've got the stats and the big words and all that. That's not what we're looking for.
Sure. So you toss it. If you see too big a word, you're like... This one's
if
out.
it looks copy and pasted from another grant application, that's
okay.
we're
Okay.
Like, yeah,
You want the genuine.
Yeah.
The organic
Sure.
feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So something fun and exciting, so we feel your passion for it, and so they fill this application out online. At the end of every month, we have a dean of Awesome who collects all those applications, sends them out to our trustees. They review them, and then on the third Monday of the month, we pick a winner. So we try to keep it pretty quick. We do this every month, yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
A little over 12 years.
Wow.
And we've never missed a month. The thing I'm most proud of is every month for the past 12 years, we've given at least one $1,000 grant to somebody in Pittsburgh with
And
a
it's
cool idea.
money that you raised, or everybody on the board gives $100. Like
we each just chip in.
just chip in
Do
$100.
other people ever come to you and say, "Hey, I'd like to contribute as well"?
Yeah, I have had that happen, and because we are not a formal organization, we're not a nonprofit. We're like, you would just be giving money to Mike and trusting that I'll give it to somebody else. So it's really it's really the trustees, joining together and supporting
And
these
truly,
great
I
ideas.
mean this from my heart. Impetus was just to do good.
Yeah,
I love
just to
it.
do good. The selfish part of it is we have one trustee who says, he's very nebby, he said. So you get to see every project when it's first starting,
Sort of
when
like
people
what
are at
Don
the very
was talking
beginning.
about, yeah.
That's right, yeah. Hearing just the spark of an idea. And
Yeah.
my favorite things are when we moved somebody from, I don't know if this is a real thing or not, to, okay, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
And some of them go on to be big things, and some of them happen and disappear, and some of them may not even happen. There's no strings attached, so we don't ask you to report back.
So you don't officially track them. No. You just sort of now. If someone applies and doesn't get it this month,
are you asking for a friend?
Can they reapply? Or once I've applied and got turned down, do I have to refrain a certain amount of time?
That sounds like a rule.
Yeah.
There's no rules, John.
I like this. Okay, man, this is so cool.
We've had some people that we keep them in the running for 3 months because oftentimes it's like maybe not this month.
Okay.
But yeah, you can apply You can apply every month. We've had people apply multiple times. We've had people win multiple times. There's really no restrictions.
What?
I had
What
a good
started
question.
this? Like, you guys are all, this is one of those
people.
stories like, we went out for a beer, we started drinking, one thing led to another.
And
is
now
that kind of
now we're giving $100
I feel like you read the history. So a couple of us went for a beer, and one thing led to another.
Yeah.
We wanted to do something in Pittsburgh. It was a friend of mine, Matt Gaston, and I, who wanted to do something for Pittsburgh. Exactly that, just like get cool stuff happening, be part of the cool things that were already happening. And at the bar down in the South Side, we decided to start this. We then went around and recruited people who weren't like us. This was really important. We're both in tech. We didn't want 10 white guys from tech.
Yep.
We wanted a mixed group of people with different backgrounds, different jobs. And I think Emily was one of the first people we talked to. She joined. She was one of the original founding members. And then we built it out and have been going strong for 12 years.
So since
so
it's not a
cool.
rule, I don't know how to phrase this question. So you could essentially be done at any time, right? Like you don't have a trajectory on how long this will keep going.
For Awesome Pittsburgh?
Yes. Forever?
Hopefully.
Yeah, we're trying.
No
like,
rules.
I mean, like in honor of Dawn, like we want it to be self-sustaining. We want it to be. We want it to go on and on and on, and try to make it as lightweight as possible. If we were to step down, it will keep trucking because it's not about any people. It's about the group. It's about the ideas.
For sure. And I'm guessing that the more unique the idea, right, the more often you're going to say, hey, we want to throw this person, right?
Yeah.
Was there something so crazy or so obscure that you were like, I can't believe it in?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Give us your favorite. I mean,
like
it's
asking your favorite kid, right?
So what? Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It is. I think
tell you my favorite kid.
Honestly, if it is that crazy and obscure, you have a better chance.
Sure.
At getting picked.
Yeah.
We had somebody that wanted to do a zip line from Mount Washington down to the
We
North
we
Shore.
talked to him.
We
Yeah.
interviewed that guy.
You know,
Yeah.
So I mean,
was
obviously
sort of
$1,000 isn't going to fund it. It's I think it was a $30 million project.
I forget. Yeah.
But the $1,000, like we saw it and we're like, well, we can't not
because
be
if
part
he
of
does
that.
it, yeah.
We had actually been joking about that as the most awesome project ever in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And then we got this application. At the time, I was the dean. Now I'm one of the voting trustees. But I was the dean. And when I saw this application, I just emailed everybody, and I was like, we have our winner, guys.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even have to meet this
I
month.
think
And people,
the first thing you said, which of you did this?
Yeah. Listen,
Like,
that has
yeah.
to happen because
I feel like we have to
will be
follow
the
up with that
first-
guy.
I would be happy to be one of the first.
That would
10
be
on it.
amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
I
sure.
said no from the
And to be clear, most of the time the projects are much closer to $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, our trustees, some of them will say if the $1,000 is the difference between it happening or not, that's what really motivates them.
And I know you said there's not an essential follow-up, but I'm sure you have, right? You know some of the people you've helped. What is that like? What's that feeling of seeing like that $1,000 turned into this, right? Because you're good people, so I'm assuming that's your sort of reward.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like we purposely don't ask them to follow up, but we do invite them to, like, if there's anything we can do to help amplify what you're doing, spread the word about it, we're happy to do that. We've been invited to some of the launches of things. There was somebody who bought an old linotype machine and put it into an art gallery, created a whole art gallery around this like printing press machine.
Wow.
And invited us down, and we got to see the grand opening of that. So there isn't any required follow-up, but if we get the chance to participate and see it come to life, that's icing on the cake.
Absolutely. Iron City and Mike's there.
So before we let you guys go, first of all, how does everybody find out about Awesome Pittsburgh?
You go to our website, awesomepgh.com.
So easy, right? You don't even have to know how to spell Pittsburgh.
Right.
Right.
We're gonna submit as like
right.
as like Juan and I don't know, Lisa from Yinzers. And you'll be like, oh, I feel like I've heard this before. But don't.
We have a question of the day. All right, so you have individual answers, right? And you already heard it. Go ahead.
You weren't in your soundproof booth, but basically, what is that decadent dessert that is your downfall? Like you have to have. We've actually asked this question before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dave and Andy's. I can't drive
Oh,
through.
get out!
It could be 30
Really?
degrees out, and I'll look down that side street. And
I got you. Yeah.
I might have to go get a unique flavor with a waffle cone with the M&M at the bottom.
Okay.
Wow.
All
okay,
right.
that's a good one.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a Pittsburgh classic, the the strawberry Jello pretzel salad.
My man. Yes.
I feel like
you are now invited
knows
to our
us.
awesome Pittsburgh strawberry Jello pretzel salad
Contest.
contest every
throwdown.
All right, we'll fund it.
throwdown.
I'm sure we'll fund it.
Well, there you go. Nice.
I love when people
Seal
offer
the
to
deal,
fund it.
Don Morrison. Who?
Made in PGH.
I know how to seal the deal.
The Made in PGH girls are like, Okay, so those were great answers. I didn't even give a Pittsburgh answer.
Yeah.
All right, did you bring us a junk drawer gift? I feel very rude asking, but did you? Is it $1,000?
I did. Well, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't keep that in the junk drawer.
You're right.
I almost brought you 70 packets of soy sauce.
Oh, that would have been great. Okay, but instead,
No, I found. So this is there's a company, a software company in Pittsburgh called Confluence.
okay.
I worked there years ago. We gave yo-yos away as swag at conferences. My favorite story about this is we were in France for a conference, which I didn't know this. Maybe someone knows more. They didn't know what yo-yos were. So we had all these people coming over going, can I get one of those Confluences
Stop it.
that I see people playing with?
That
And
is-
so my dream is someday we go back to Europe and everyone is like, I'm a Confluence champion.
Oh my gosh,
this.
that
So
is.
that's my
thank
Listen,
you.
if you ask Jack Hunt what a
I was
yo-yo
gonna
is,
say-
it's someone who cut him off on McKnight Road earlier.
No,
That's
he
a
has
yo-yo.
the real. What are the
Yeah.
old-fashioned ones? What are the good ones? Dunkin'. Yeah,
Dunkin'.
like and
Emily,
it's
what
like
do you
what?
have
Walk
for
the
our
dog.
junk drawer?
Walk the dog.
I have a coupon for 15% off at H&M.
Oh.
But there's
It expired?
there's a more to it. I don't think it ever expires,
Oh, okay.
actually. So you guys can use it anytime. But I got it because I love donating textiles to H&M. If you bring in like paint-covered clothes, they've got a place that will take those, turn them into
never
rags
knew
or
that.
There's a theme
insulation
here to
or
your
something
show.
like that.
Yeah, I know. It's so great.
I was amazed when I found out because it was not that long ago, and they've been doing this for a long time, and so people
That is
should
so
donate.
I love
I wanted
H&M, and I
to
didn't
spread the
know
word,
that.
and they're supposed to give you one, but sometimes they hand you like a ton of them.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of these.
Oh my God!
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys.
Thank you both
These are
for
great
coming on
gifts.
this podcast.
Thank
know
you.
what's
You
coming
are
up
wonderful
next?
people. What?
What's happening in Pittsburgh? 412 Dudes with the ladies from Made in PGH are going to tell us something.
Something about pizza.
Big
I know
deal.
it's pizza.
I've been thinking that Rohrich Automotive needs a new jingle.
Rohrich Automotive got the best cars around Pittsburgh.
Driving a Rohrich, I bought it at Rohrich. Picked up my new car at Rohrich Automotive. I got friends at Rohrich Automotive, where the staff is nice and the dealership's loaded with brand new cars, and you can drive real far.
People used to celebrate hard work, the spirit of the underdog. You don't hear too much about those things anymore. The world needs more problem solvers. People who know results matter. Folks with brains and elbow grease. Our work runs through just about every office building in the city like a network of veins. It's not what you are that makes you a steam fitter. It's who you are.
After the 2 years, I graduated, and he told me to travel all over this country and work at all the restaurants I can. And this is part of that restaurant. It takes me 2.5 hours to make one batch of gumbo.
Ooh.
Blending all of the flavors together.
Yeah.
The prep, and then of course, just mixing it and cooling it down.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're known, Got Gumbo.
Yes.
Which is all over, as you may even see, as we got bowls, mugs, Got Gumbo.
Hey everyone, it's Channing and Chelsea with Made in PGH. Sorry,
That's John's fault.
John's distracting me. He's eating an ice cream sandwich and he needs to go away.
That's a Klondike.
Oh, it's a Klondike? Oh, get out of here. So, okay. This is Okay, so this is the Pizza Passport. We're here to talk to you about it.
Yes, it's a big deal. Big deal for
it
this.
It is a big deal.
This coming couple weeks.
Yes, so it's essentially a tour of the most amazing, iconic pizzerias around the city in all kind of different areas. Really, it stretches across Allegheny County.
Yep, it even reaches Beaver and Butler.
That's right. 18 stops. Mm-hmm. The tour kicked off today, runs through
the 24th?
March 24th?
Or no, 17th. 17th, I'm sorry.
March 17th.
Today's, yep. Mm-hmm.
And we have a code for you guys, 20% off the Pizza Passport.
$20 off.
Oh, $20 off. Sorry about that. Jagoff-20. So go to madeinpgh.com and find the Pizza Passport, and you get $20 off.
Yeah, the more places you visit, the more chances you get to win an outdoor pizza oven. So
yes,
you get a free slice from there, and you get a chance to win.
Yeah. So yeah, tune in on Made in PGH. We will be touring around, and we hope that you enjoy the Pizza Passport as much as we have been planning it and working with all the great pizzerias.
Yeah, and if you need a map or like a calendar to figure out which days, which times to go somewhere, just let me know.
Yeah, just DM us. We'll help you out. But yeah, have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Mancini's Bakery, 97 years in business and still getting better. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you will see various Pittsburgh personalities like Gretchen McKay, Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes, KDKA's own Mary Hours, and WPXI's Jenna Harner, learning how to make the famous Italian twist bread. Follow Mancini Bakery on Instagram and Facebook, and remember to ask for Mancini's.
At Peoples Natural Gas, we provide clean, safe, reliable natural gas. We're always looking to get cleaner as we continue to protect our environment. And that's also why we support organizations like the National Aviary that are focused around the clock on conservation. Let's hear from them about some of their efforts.
A lot of people know about the National Aviary, but not a lot of people know all the conservation work that the National Aviary does. We are part of a lot of conservation work out in the field, and we do things here at the National Aviary. Staff members like myself are part of a lot of different projects. To learn more about the conservation work that the National Aviary does, you can check out our website, aviary.org.
We're also always working to make our environment cleaner through our work. That's why we've reduced emissions since 2019 by 17% over 2019 figures.
Rach, I have to vent. Here's my dryer vent. This one time, I had found a lead press-on nail in my dryer stuff, and It was not mine.
Vom in the throat. One time, my kids left Kleenexes from one of their worst whooping coughs in their pocket.
Guys, you guys are such jagoffs. That's not the type of dryer venting we're talking about. We professionally clean your dryer vent to increase your dry time and save you guys some money.
For 4 hours. Wet, like 10 pounds
you
wet.
Jagoffs, you need to get your dryer vents cleaned.
John and Rachel, YaJagoff Late Night. Now, listen, I hopefully our next guest sews or creates something or does something.
There's got to be sustainability.
Maybe she recycles music. I don't know. But first of all, the Prosecco is pouring, and our next guest has a Leona's shirt on, and we just happen to have a Leona's still an ice cream sandwich over here from the last time when they were here.
But you offered it to guests because you're that kind.
I did, but your dad brought cake. And so we could cut it up and put ice cream and cake together.
Oh, there you go.
How about that? See?
I mean, we're all about the sweets. That's actually our question of the day. There you go. Also, I don't want to forget to talk about G-Jet. Hopefully you are checking out our G-Jets, our Where Ya Ats. Our G-Jet this week was actually my hometown, right there in the north side. And it was Cafe on the Corner. And you know what's really funny is I've not been there yet. I've driven past a bunch of times. You know where it is? My old bank. On, I can't think of it. But anyway, you know where I mean. On Brighton Road, off of Brighton Road. And Tressa visited, and it was a phenomenal video. It was such a good time to see. So thanks to all of our Jag braggers for bringing us these great segments.
And thanks to Dryer Vent Wizard for sponsoring them. So if you have a Where You At, a G-Jet, your nunny makes some pierogies, whatever, make sure you let us know.
All right. The one and only Inez. Let me just kind of back this up, right? So Sarah Aziz, dear friend of both of ours, right? And we wanted to have you on a couple years ago whenever you were headlining. I almost said Traff. Right, first night, and phenomenal time, right? And everybody was just in awe of the fact that you were doing so. But you were too in demand, and we understood. So we were like, hey, we're going to get you on. And the coolest part is typical Pittsburgh. We were a part of a great diversity and inclusion piece that some folks are working with a bunch of different newsrooms on. And I saw you come in, and I was the stalker this time. The way you were with Dawn, I was like, I know that's her. And she made her way over. And it was so cool to see you there and giving great opinions about how we can better journalism in Pittsburgh, right? So what a cool way to officially meet. So thank you for coming on after I begged you and stalked you and sat next to you.
And I'm just going to say on the record, I love Sarah. I say yes to Sarah. I've never said no to Sarah. So every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, if you ever need her to MC an event, she
just emceed our event
last week. She emceed our game show with PTL, and she's amazing. Her sense of humor is perfect for anything like that. So, all about you. Tell us a little bit about you. Originally from Pittsburgh, tell us all about that.
Oh, I'm born and raised Pittsburgh.
Yes.
East Side child. I grew up in Homewood, born and raised. I'm actually still teach there.
Okay.
So yeah.
Where do you teach?
I teach at the YMCA Lighthouse Project.
Is that where the recording studio and podcast?
Yeah,
we were there. Yeah.
James Brown, he just left, right?
JB, that's what
See what's up? We're not just old. We're
we
smart.
might be North Side, but we still but yeah.
Yeah. So I was telling your dad I went to Perry.
Oh, what?
And I actually did the concerts that he would have in the wintertime.
Stop it.
Yeah. Full circle moment.
Do you see? I mean, Pittsburgh is so 6 degrees. It's not even 6 degrees. It's like 3 degrees.
Who needs Kevin Bacon when you're in Pittsburgh? That's what I always say.
So true. Why is it so important to stay in Pittsburgh, especially now? Because let's face it, artists have moved on. I mean, so I shouldn't just say artists, because so many different, industries have sort of gone here and then said, it's just not working, you know. But what is it about staying? Because you are really making a name.
I think musically, Pittsburgh has a very rich history of artistry. We talk about, especially during Black History Month, we talk about Billy Strayhorn and Mary Caldwell Dawson and all these names that were very pivotal. Ahmad Jamal, who is one of the most sampled jazz pianists of our time. I think it's super important to realize that that's our history, but it kind of dropped off at a certain point. And so for me, selfishly, I'm like, okay, well, who's our last three big exports? We have Gabby Barrett, we have Wiz Khalifa, we have Mac Miller. And I was like, I want to get some R&B singers on the board. So
there you go.
Yeah. So I want to be able to not only do work in my community, but show you don't have to necessarily go to Nashville or LA or Atlanta or New York to be successful. You can be successful from here right at home.
And technology has shown us that is possible, right? Because it's not necessarily about, there are certain things where you can't hit if you're not in Nashville. There's a connection of somebody that might be you're walking down the street that's a producer or whatever. But the fact is that there's so many other channels through which you can be noticed at this point, right? If you have a talent, it's going to go. Yeah.
That's been my story. Someone found a clip of me singing online, and then the next thing you know, the NFL's knocking on my door. Saying, hey, do you want to sing the national anthem at the enshrinement game? Sure, I do.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah.
By the way, did you know this? Did you know this? The NFL pigskins aren't pigskins anymore.
I just found that out today.
Yeah. See how this thing?
What
did he call that? Circling. He circled it. I just circled it. See,
you helped that come
no dummy
full circle.
here.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. So we were joking a little bit that obviously you have such a presence here in Pittsburgh as a performer, but I said I'm throwing this out because we have to talk. You were just coming back from the Grammys.
I did.
What was that like?
Well, I got accepted into the Recording Academy. I am a voting member. I'm a part of the Philly chapter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's just one of those, I didn't think that was going to happen.
Right,
it's a thing. Yeah.
You're like, I bring that up at parties.
It's still kind of new.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to go and see.
Yeah.
So a lot of the industry events, the chapter events I went to, I met some incredible people. So I'll call her my auntie now. I met Patti LaBelle's publicist, who's I love her. She's amazing.
Patty.
Wow.
But just moments like that where you never know who you're sitting next to. Yes. You never know who you're in a room with, at a table with. There was several of those moments. But it was incredible. The week was just,
I bet.
And
pinched me the entire time.
Are you fanning at that point, or are you going, oh, no, I need to act like I've been here before?
Do you act like you've
I
been?
kept telling myself, act like you've been here before. Act like you've been here before. Because I eventually would love to hold a few of my own. So
yes.
Yeah.
Well, you come on the YaJagoff podcast
Anytime.
when you have one.
I'll come and put it in the junk drawer.
Oh,
yeah. And we will MC it for you with Sarah Aziz. No, but I mean, and when you're there, is it overwhelming? Because, Pittsburgh, we're still, as I asked the question, sometimes it feels like we're still a little bit behind, right? As a city, we're a small city, but we think we're big, but there are such bigger cities. Did it feel overwhelming in that way, or did it feel like I belong here?
You have to tell yourself.
Yeah, sure.
You have that. I belong in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I kept telling myself that. But there's also the fun fact is not to fan out. I'm fanning out right now. Victoria Monet's album won. She won Best New Artist.
Yes.
One of the producers on the writers on the album is from Penn Hills.
No kidding.
A lot of the people who are out there secretly recording, not secretly recording, but Ariana Grande's producers from Penn Hills.
Right.
There's so many Pittsburgh ties. It's just kind of we have to do a better job of shouting them out when they get their moments.
Yeah,
that's
true.
There.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
So what are you doing right now?
Right now, my album, My Baby, is 5 years old. And while I love performing it, I'm also tired of performing the same
I'm sure.
20 songs.
Wow.
Yeah.
So right now I'm recording.
Okay. So what does that look like for you? What does recording mean? Are you coming up with your, John always asks this question, when you're sort of putting the pen to paper, is it a melody? Are you hearing something first? Or is it your thoughts? What's your process?
I am a music producer.
Okay.
That was my first love.
Okay.
I went to Berkeley. Your dad knows about Berkeley.
I knew that. Yeah.
So it's all encompassing. I don't think I can break them down.
Okay. Fair.
It might start with the melody. It might start with the lyrics. Sometimes it starts with a real life. I'm going to be honest. My song Reload, I didn't write the words down because I was upset because a man made me upset.
Oh.
So sometimes I'm just
yeah, I get it.
I get a little emotional. I'm a Leo. I'm a little fire sign. So sometimes I'm just that encouraged, I will say.
Sure. Yeah, I like that word.
I'm encouraged. Yeah. And it just happens. But I'm also kind of getting over some perfectionism a little bit.
Okay.
Just letting things be naturally imperfect. Because the music will never come out if I'm spending so much time on one thing or one song detail.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I do it all. Writing, singing, arranging, producing. I'm looking forward to having help on this project, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The first one was a lot.
Then I think that's one other question is, enough help is here in Pittsburgh to do this.
Yeah.
That's the thing. All the movie people say, there's enough help in Pittsburgh to produce these things.
Yeah.
Same for you, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, writers, performers,
singers, musicians. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're working on everything right now.
I'm working
when
on
can
everything.
we expect something?
I don't want to rush this because this one is very special to me. It's an homage to my grandparents' home, which is where I got the Motown and the Whitney Houston and all the influences as a kid. So I'm taking my time with it, but I want to have it out no later than the fall.
Okay.
I'm going to shoot some visuals for it, some period PC cool.
So there you
cool
go.
Stuff.
You'll be back here in the fall.
Yeah, you need to come back in the fall so that we can know. Yeah. Oh, and we will take you to task. We'll be like, so how did that go? How did you do it?
We have Tracy is already marking July. Contact her.
Yes. There you go. So we obviously appreciate that you're here. Where can everybody find you, follow you, all that good stuff? And don't worry, we are going to hear a little performance. But before we do that, tell us, where can they follow you and find you?
My website is www.inez.us. You can also follow me on Instagram at @FromInezWithLove.
I love that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right.
Okay, so you brought us a gift, but in the meantime, we want to know about your sweet tooth, because as John has offered a half-eaten ice cream sandwich and there's ice cream cake back there, what is your, I answered the question wrong because I just said tiramisu in general.
You didn't answer it wrong.
Okay.
You answered it right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. But I should have I do everything with the Pittsburgh tie. I do everything with the Pittsburgh tie, and I didn't this time.
Yeah.
So what is your sort of,
Can I meet you in the middle?
Yeah.
So my favorite dessert is tiramisu.
Okay, because it's the best.
But my good friends Katie and Krista of Leona's, I had told them, I was like, please come out with an ice cream sandwich for tiramisu. They did, and they let me help test it. They would drop some samples off to me, like, what does it need?
Oh,
what does it need?
Part of that testing.
We
asked about that.
Yeah.
Rachel, how did
I not know there was a
Right.
tiramisu? Oh my gosh, I
hope you brought that for the junk drawer.
I literally said that is the $1,000 and the tiramisu. That's an amazing. Okay, so you're a tiramisu. I love it. See,
I am
we have more
addicted
in
to
common.
it. It's dangerous.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
And obviously, it sounds tacky when we say, "Did you bring us something for our junk drawer?" But we're gonna ask that tacky question. Did you bring us something?
I brought you something, and I think it's something that's going to be helpful because as an audio engineer, I lose these quite a bit.
Oh boy.
So I
we lose a lot.
I bought you a
3.5
millimeter
quarter-inch headphone jack.
Quarter-inch headphone jack adapter. Yeah. This one's a little screwy, so I think it might work on the Sonys, but
Yeah.
Monica and Johnny are like,
nice.
They're like, we
for
know
those
where to get that.
So it's for those listening, it's the quarter-inch headphone jack. It's brass.
That's such a good. You really put thought into that.
It makes your
it.
1/8 inch a quarter-inch. I sound very technical, and I don't know anything.
Yeah. I saw her pull it out, and I was like, we must be nailing something into a wall. So there you go. You all have me because it is not my jam. That's why I associate.
Dawn's over there. I can recycle that into a belt buckle.
Leather. Yeah, I get it. Inez, I am so happy that you could join us. Seriously, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for what you do for Pittsburgh. We love whenever, artists stay here, and that is so important because you're making a name for us, and we appreciate it. So we'll just see you back this summer. Yeah.
Now we're about to turn the heat up, literally, and have you
it's so hot
perform
in
under
here.
the hot conditions. You good? Are you good with that? When we come back, we are going to hear from Inez.
Mancini's Bakery, 97 years in business and still getting better. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you will see various Pittsburgh personalities like Gretchen McKay, Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes, KDKA's own Mary Hours, and WPXI's Jenna Harner, learning how to make the famous Italian twist bread. Follow Mancini Bakery on Instagram and Facebook, and remember to ask for Mancini's.
At People's Natural Gas, we provide clean, safe, reliable natural gas. We're always looking to get cleaner as we continue to protect our environment. And that's also why we support organizations like the National Aviary that are focused around the clock on conservation. Let's hear from them about some of their efforts.
A lot of people know about the National Aviary, but not a lot of people know all the conservation work that the National Aviary does. We are part of a lot of conservation work out in the field, and we do things here at the National Aviary. Staff members like myself are part of a lot of different projects. To learn more about the conservation work that the National Aviary does, you can check out our website, aviary.org.
We're also always working to make our environment cleaner through our work. That's why we've reduced emissions since 2019 by 17% over 2019 figures.
Rach, I have to vent. Here's my dryer vent. This one time, I found a lead press-on nail in my dryer stuff, and it was not mine.
Vom in the throat. One time, my kids left Kleenexes from one of their worst whooping coughs in their pocket.
Guys, you guys are such Jagoffs. That's not the type of dryer venting we're talking about. We professionally clean your dryer vent to increase your dry time and save you guys some money.
For 4 hours. Wet, like 10 pounds
you
wet.
Jagoffs, you need to get your dryer vents cleaned.
So we're obviously in this fun place. I mean, it's lively, it's vibrant, but you do murder mysteries. So what makes you come here? I know it has to change the whole mood.
Absolutely. I wake up with murder on my mind. I come here to get some amazing boba drinks. It's flip first, and that lightens the mood. And also, like when I have consultations with the professionals that I, for the book, we come here.
About 5-6 years ago, when boba became a thing, no one knew what it really was. So I brought it here, pushed it real hard, and then I started mixing different flavors, different colors, and created magical drinks.
Hello, everybody. My name is Inez. That is my song Heartbeat from my album Voicemails and Conversations.
Said he got the sweetest heartbeat I ever heard. Strong like his hands, but soft like his words. Little insecure, I can tell, even hurt. Cause he a big deal and he don't see his worth. So I'm listening for the spaces in between what I think he says and what I know he means. My eyes full of passion, but his face is so serene. So I just smile back when he telling me his dreams. Damn, I think I love him, but he say I'm just a friend. Like, do you think I'm stupid, or do I just pretend? Cause laying on his chest got my heart on a mend, and I could fall asleep to the rhythm that it sends. Yeah, and I'm listening to his heartbeat. It sounds so sweet, like a cadence, a cadence. It's just for me, it goes, yeah, yeah. Dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, 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 yeah, yeah. Dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Said he got the sweetest heartbeat I ever heard. The pride of his lion for the song like a bird. He wanna let me in, but he can't find a nerve. He'd rather walk away, even try to make it word. I slowly click together the pieces of my heart before he see who broke it, before he see what's wrong. Don't know if he was honest, I don't know if he a fraud. Just know I felt complete when I laid up in his arms. Am I wrong for falling for his charm? Am I wrong for being me all along? Said, am I wrong for wanting my own song that I could learn and I could sing like a cadence, a cadence? It was just for me, it goes, yeah, yeah, da-dum, da-dum, yeah, yeah, da-dum, da-dum, yeah, yeah, da-dum, da-dum, yeah, yeah. I said, yeah, yeah, da-dum, da-dum, yeah, yeah, da-dum, da-dum, yeah, yeah, da-dum, da-dum, yeah.
Oh my God!
Okay. If we can flip that camera on and around and see everybody clapping, that was very awesome. Wow.
Why are you doing without headphones?
We just literally, right, you did it though. That was amazing.
Yeah.
We call this organic.
Is that the worst conditions ever? Like you're standing next to a thermostat and an electrical
box.
In
a corner with a TV flashing, and
it's
all
107.
Good. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Inez.
You'll tell everybody about this one.
It was fantastic, and we appreciate it so much. So that was our show for tonight. We're so happy to be back here at 5000 McKnight Road at the Q929 Studios. We had a great time, right?
Yeah.
Right back. It's like riding a bike.
We want to remind you that next week we are recording on Thursday.
Oh wow.
Right?
Jeez,
next
we're
week.
screwing everything
up.
Yeah, Monica, next week we're on Thursday.
5:30 to 6:30 here at 5000 McKnight Road. Only because we have a little bit of a road trip for one of our comedian friends in Pottstown who's celebrating recording an album.
There you go. So thank you tonight, obviously. One of my favorite things about tonight, the 412 dues were delivered from here. We love that whenever,
right.
why didn't I say live? Anyway, our friends Channing and Chelsea from Made in PGH are reminding you that there's some pizza stuff going on and there's a JAG code. Nothing better than that.
Passport. You know, nothing goes crazier on our Facebook page other than when we ask what's your favorite pizza in Pittsburgh.
So we try to be, kosher.
Right.
Anyway, thank you so much to Inez for being here. Finally, we got to hear her perform live. Obviously, we've seen it before, but not right here in our studios. Thank you so much to Don Morrison for coming and giving us a little CEO talk, right? Composites, about sustainability. That was our theme tonight. Look at us being so green.
Emily and Mike from Awesome Pittsburgh, and we know that Pittsburgh is awesome. You guys make Pittsburgh awesome by listening to us, and we try to, if you have an awesome Pittsburgh that we should have on, you should let us know.
Yeah, and make sure you are checking out our G-Jets, our Where Ya Ats, thanks to Dryer Vent Wizard, and thanks, as always, to Rohrich Automotive. Have a great weekend.